Hey guys, we take here Blueberry Hill. So here's a continuation of the roof. The guys came out to do the final seaming on the standing seam roof. They're using that little motorized press that squeezes all the seams together. Pretty interesting. They basically just put it on and it runs down the hill, down the slope, and squeezes the seam nice and tight. So they did this for all the roofs that were up there. They still have to do the middle roof where the offices are. Which is right where the camera is standing up there. You see, that's not finished yet, and then they're going to come back and do their I guess it's splash protection for the walls. I'm not sure what you call it, but anyway, it's a so water doesn't run up the side of the wall, etc. I guess it's drip edge, but it's got a special form or a name for it as well. I believe they had some fun trying to do the middle roof, so they continued the seaming that one day. That's pretty much what they did, and then later on they moved over to do the middle roof a day or two later. So we're sitting, this is Sunday, August 29th, we're just sitting around and look at each other and go, hey, we're a little bored, so let's go knock some trees down at the bottom of the hillside. So got into the Bobcat, and she took her sawzall and we went down there and knocked a few trees out of the way. So right in the middle of the video, there's a little V. There's two clearings that we're trying to get to. I also knocked one or two trees out already. You can see them on the left. But here we go. We start playing with that. I think we started on Friday, knocked a few out, and then this is Sunday, so we're knocking a lot more out. And as always, one tree turns into a lot, and we're just trying to make it kind of a nice area right down here. These trees are all kind of shooting sideways, which is kind of weird, but anyway, for whatever reason, we're just trying to trim them up and make an access to the two open areas back there. Anyway, every time I get in the Bobcat and try to knock a few trees out, you can see how this thing just pulls trees out of the ground. I'm using the stump puller for tree removal. So there's Angie and the dog playing around. And we're just trying to open up this area a little bit. We're not trying to go to the right. There's power lines about 400 feet away from here. We're going to leave all these trees alone over here. We're going more to the left side. But anyway, some of the trees, basically pull them up by the root, and everything's good. I try to not disturb the ground as much as possible, but you know, when you yank these things, a lot of rock and stuff come with. So you can see the clearing's kind of taking shape back there. I'm just there's a bunch of dead trees back there too. The cedars, they just dried up and they're just sitting there. Most of them are the ones that have the multiple trunks. And here's Whiskey helping out Angie. Angie's doing some of the smaller stuff that I don't want to take the Bobcat through. Anyway, she trims that all out, and we use some of it for whatever we're gonna do, outside fires and stuff. Then of course I'm gonna pile it all on the big pile there. So here's basically I'm doing a double pile. I'm gonna move these trees over to where we had our burn pile before. Just get them out of the way, and then we're gonna start right where the Bobcat is, right there. We're gonna have little fires to take care of some of the trimming stuff. But for the most part, I just moved everything to where we normally burn. Just get it out of the way. The number of trees turns into, as always, more than we thought. There's a lot of stuff I'm taking out, and one tree always seems to multiply into like 5. So, and some are pretty big. But regardless, we're making it look pretty nice. It's very flat down here, which is really cool. And there's the two clearings. Probably end up in videos sooner or later. They have some really neat trees in there, elm and oak, and there's a second clearing very kind of behind us right now. There's a bunch of really neat cactus and stuff in there, so it's really pretty in there. So on Monday, 8:30, 2021, the boys came back, started doing the rest of the roof. They're going to finish up all the roof sections and all the drip edging along the wall areas. So they had some fun because the containers on the top here, where you see the normal OSB, there's a little kick out. The containers themselves are offset about 6 inches, so it kind of made their life a little more miserable because they had to custom bend and cut all this stuff, try to make it fit. And then pretty much the same thing on that little roof overhang on the left side. Anyway, that was their. They spent quite a bit of time on doing that, and then they just continued very quickly doing the rest of the sheathing on the roof. It's cool to watch them. They work pretty quick. These last few days, I think they were here like 7-8 days total, but it was very hot in the afternoon. It was hitting close to the 100 mark, and super steamy up on the roof side. So devil's in the details. They're trying to make all the flashing go up, or the bends actually go up on the wall, and then we're doing our panel walls as well. So they're getting ready for that kind of stuff. So they're making sure it runs up the wall, and then I come back and do a little bit of silicone sealing, that black silicone construction adhesive stuff I was using on the windows. They use MP1, which is a white thing, and then they paint it with some kind of enamel or whatever. I kind of prefer just a black silicone, so you have no issues with paint, etc. Don't have to redo that. Yeah, so once I did the edging stuff, then they just continued with the big sheets. It's kind of cool to not have any seams in this stuff. That's why it's called seamless standing seam. And it should be extremely hardy. It's very tight. And when they use that seam press thing to actually lock the seams down, I mean, I can't see any which way that the roof's going to come off unless it comes off one gigantic sheet, which is hopefully impossible. But anyway, they're making it work, getting through with it, and glad to see that it's going to be pretty much done. We're not expecting any real weather as of yet, so we'll see how all this performs. But we've had a couple of sprinklers, and it's very cool to watch all the water just piss off there, how much it comes off the roof. We are going to put gutters on the back sides and do some more rainwater collection for the pool area and the garden. We might have gutters just to control water up front, and that's about it. So here's a continuation of a little bit of wiring. I ordered some more stuff to finish up the ceiling fans. We received the ceiling fans this weekend. They're super quiet ceiling fans. They got the SONE value below 1. It's 0.9, I believe. So they should be super quiet. They're kind of large. They're still a slim design. I'll show you that when we start doing that. I'm waiting for hole saw kits so I can punch through the containers and put the conduit through there. So I forgot to do that. I don't know why. Anyway, that's on order. Should be here tomorrow or day after. So we'll do that. Today we're doing a little bit of electrical. I'm not going to do too much. I'm basically just trying to tidy up the breaker box before it gets wired. So all the wires, this big mess you see behind me, that's coming from everywhere. Half the one on the left is from the middle offices and the spare bedroom and the game room, as well as the living room area. The ones on the right are already tied in. It's mostly for the kitchen, lights for the kitchen, the fridge, and the microwave. So those are already tied in. I'm using what they call wire clamps. I just happen to get these. They're for regular NM Romex kind of stuff. You're supposed to have some kind of fastener to secure them so you can't yank them out of the breaker box, etc. So anyway, I'm doing that. Everything's labeled. I'm trying to put 2 or 3 pairs of wires together, or sets of wires, kind of more function based, just to keep things nice and tidy so I can run them down the proper breaker. I believe I have some like 32 circuits at this point, around 32 or 34. I lost count actually, didn't recount it. And so we have a little bit of leeway in the box still, but most of them are lights. Again, I did a few more circuits than typical. I'm not trying to
splice power home run stuff to sockets and lights all on the same circuit. I'm trying to split it up on a functional level. It makes sense to me to do that. That way everything's, if something fails, it's very specific to one small area and not the whole thing. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to continue along those lines. I'm going to switch it to time lapse, and we're just going to do a couple of the pop some of the breakouts out. Actually, I did that already on this side, so I'm going to continue putting a few wires through there. I'll find something to put through there, and then we're just going to put them in the box, nice and tidy, and I'm going to move them out of the way so they're not in my face. So let's continue with that. See you in a bit.
So the roofers were back, finishing up the final stuff. A lot of the water drip edge stuff against the walls, and then Pedro was working on doing the chimney. I only asked him to do it like a day or two before, so it kind of made sense to make it consistent, and it's the same material as a roof, standing seam walls, and he did have to do some custom stuff for the top, the cap. We left what I did there and just put another cap on top of that, so should be you know, double protection or whatever, we'll see. But anyway, Pedro's working on the chimney. Another guy's working on the drip edge stuff on the that's the living room wall, the windows, and they put this kind of an edge underneath the drip edge to stop wind and rain from collecting itself underneath it. So pretty cool. I mean, obviously for kind of simple, but this is the devil in the details. This stuff that takes longer than putting the main panels down, but they did a pretty good job. We like the result. They're going to come back later and do the metal caps on the fascia. I think we're still waiting on the material for that. But anyway, I didn't get a final shot of the chimney, but I'm sure you'll see it in a few videos later. But this ends this video. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. See y'all later.